You know why? Because anyone who's alive has stem cells. And before you blink, you're already at 30 years old. Our son is 29 years old. And I remember a couple of years ago, he started calling us, complaining about his knees and his back. He's a music producer, so he's sitting down on his chair a lot, but he's also an athlete. I'm thinking, wow, Mike, you're a baby. Well, now I realize, at a baby at 30 years old, 50% of stem cells are stagnant, right? And all of that changes just by wearing this little patch. I remember when Steve called us up 13 months ago, I'm sorry, and he told us about this little stem cell patch, right? I didn't know much about stem cells, but I knew that some of my friends had taken shots, and I knew they paid a lot of money, and I knew where some of those stem cells came from, so I had a lot of questions, right? I didn't feel comfortable about, putting stem cells in my body that come from aborted fetuses or whatever. So my first question was, Steve, where do the stem cells in this patch come from? He said, Mike, there's no stem cells in this patch, right? And I was puzzled. And I come to learn now, after sharing this during the last year, that there are stem cell patches, meaning patches that are made from stem cells that you have to get a prescription for, because I was talking to a doctor recently, sharing our opportunity. He says, oh, stem cell patches. Yeah, we have them in our office. Let me just tell you, I know all about them. They're very expensive and they don't work very well. I said, I don't think we're talking about the same thing. He says, yeah, it goes through your skin, the stem cells. I said, no, we're definitely not talking about the same thing. That's what I thought Steve was calling me about. And Steve told me, Mike, this is composed of organic nanocrystals. There are no stem cells here, guys. So these crystals are basically salt and sugars derived from organic plants. Guys, there's no absorption of chemicals, vitamins, or nutrients in your body going through your skin. To me, I was fascinated by that. And then I learned that these crystals, they act more like a mirror, because all it's doing is reflecting your God-given light back into the skin. You guys know, especially down in South Florida, all year round, you expose yourself to the sun and you elevate your vitamin D. Everybody knows that, right? There's no vitamin D in the air, in the sun, or the skin. But when that light hits your skin, it stimulates peptides that causes your body to raise the level of vitamin D. I sound really smart for a high school dropout, I know, all right? But get this, it's the same thing with this, just that it's instead of using the light from the sun, it's reflecting our own God-given light, and same thing, causing a stimulation that causes your body to reactivate its own God-given stem cells. Guys, it sounds really simple, but it only took about 11 years to get this product to do what it's doing right now, and over $5 million. Thank God David Schmidt is not one of those people, like a lot of them that come into business, that 2 weeks later, if they don't see results, they quit, right? Because we wouldn't have this right now. So once this product was brought to market, right, never been seen, never been done before, activating your own God-given stem cells, it went from generating $20 million a year to $280 million a year in 2 years. That's when Saeed and I and most of us got involved about a year ago, right? Now this year, 3 years later, they're looking to finish right around 400 million. When Saeed says that we're going to $1 billion, guys, it's going to happen with or without you. It's going to happen with or without us. It's just going to happen when something this good comes to market and people learn about it. Trust me when I tell you, the word gets out, and the word is getting out fast. The company is 19 years old, and the biggest thing they've been able to establish is prior to the X39 is opening up legally in 75 countries. Why? Because we have the opportunity to share this with our friends and family members all around the world and have a global business. You know what that means? It means you get to make money 24 hours a day, literally while you sleep. As we go to sleep tonight and the sun comes down, guess what's happening in Australia? Today, Steve Berry got up at 6 o'clock in the morning. Actually, he got up around 5 o'clock in the morning. I was going to do it. He gave me a break because I was going to come up here. But we get up every Wednesday at 5 o'clock in the morning to do a meeting for them in the evening. Right? As we get up, they go to sleep. When we go to sleep, they go up. So that means when we're going to sleep and they're getting up, they're patching up and patching other people. So we literally make money while you sleep. They say that this patch is good for your skin. It's not helping me at all, because when you make money while you sleep like this. Smiling, right? Because guys, the longer you sleep, the more money you make. That's why no one ever fights before noon. All right, I never get up before noon because I know the longer I sleep, the more money I make. But guys, all jokes aside, he said only for pickleball I get up early. This guy right here, this is the brains behind the company, the product, and the opportunity. David Schmidt. David Schmidt is a genius. In fact, he's a scientist and an inventor. Two-time recipient of the International Hall of Fame of Inventors. All right, this guy lost track at 130 patents behind his products. Can you think of guys? 130 patents. You know how hard it is to get one patent? You need to prove everything under the sun, what you're trying to bring to the market. To bring 130 patents is that much harder. But for me, this is the most fascinating patent. The X39 patent. This is the actual patent right here. You can go out and pull it. I don't know who pulled it, but my neighbor, I have a neighbor who has a patent, and he owns a block of Subway stores, and he comes to my house, he's like, Mike, this is, he just came to me, he's like, this is incredible. I got the patent. I'm like, you got the what? Like, I didn't even know people could do that. But yeah, he pulled it, guys. This patent, to me, this is what did it, guys. Listen, I didn't share much of my story because I wanted to wait till this moment. Guys, Saeed and I, we've been in this industry now. We got introduced back in 2006, like we said. When we got involved, guys, we couldn't afford to pay attention. I'm a high school dropout. She's a high school dropout. We both dropped out of high school in 10th grade, which means that no education, you don't get a great paying job. We've struggled our whole lives. We were talking the other day. Her last job was when you were how old?
Gosh, 17.
And you had it too?
No.
Oh, 17.
18.
So 18 years old was her last job, right? Guys, we've struggled financially our whole lives. I wanted my wife to take care of our son, and rather than pay somebody else, so I try to do whatever I can to make money. Guys, we got to the point when we moved here 24 years ago, right before we learned about network marketing. Guys, we were so broke. Her mom and my mom were cleaning for wealthy people in big, beautiful communities like we live now. And on Tuesdays and Thursdays, I noticed that people threw away garbage, and they threw out stuff that had value. And we would pick up the stuff, gather it all week long, and sell it at the swap shop down in Sunrise Boulevard in Fort Lauderdale to make extra money for the household. And it became a family business. Then my mom was doing it. Then her mom was doing it. So we were all in competition for each other. No, this is my dumpster. It's like, hey, yo, I got this community like that, right? So I kid you not. Well, we weren't actually fighting about, we were like, hey, don't tell mom about this spot. This is our spot. But guys, we went from being that couple to earning over $5 million in 7 years in our first company in network marketing. And even after all that success, we wanted nothing to do with network marketing. When Steve called us last year, we had been 8 years out of the industry. You know why? Because we were sick and tired of the Me Too products. It is so hard to make money in this industry when you're dealing with the same category of products that every other network marketing company has. And those same category of products, by the way, you can pick up at Whole Foods, supermarkets, Amazon, and everywhere else. Nothing life-changing and nothing exclusive. We were done with it until we learned about LifeWave. I learned about this patent, and I learned about this product, and I thank God we opened up our minds to it. And thank you, baby, because my wife said, baby, if there's anyone who didn't want to do network marketing more than me, was my wife, because she knows one thing. She loses me. All right? I'm the kind of guy, I go all in. My feet are the last thing to touch. So my wife says I am a big, what was the word? Intense. Right? Because 2 weeks, 3 weeks before we learned about LifeWave, my cousin, we were having a conversation how I had just sold my last few houses. The market is going down. Businesses are hurting, guys. And it's only going to get worse. So the economy is really bad. And my cousin asked, you guys did really good in network marketing. Would you ever go back? And my wife said, oh, heck no. She said, why? You did so well. She says, if you don't have a life-changing product and it's exclusive, it doesn't happen. It doesn't happen. Besides, Mike is too intense. I lose her, right? And then when we learned about this, he said, Mike, we got to do this. We're stupid if we don't. I'm like, okay, she just gave me the green light to keep unleashed me, and she says, let me run, right? And she's been running behind me. But guys, what are we noticing with this patch? That is life-changing. That's why we can't sleep. Guys, we're making more money than we've ever dreamed of. Like I never, ever imagined making this much money. And I know we can make so much more because of this product and the fact that nobody knows about it. Who doesn't want benefits that your own body is creating with its own stem cells, like rapid pain relief, reduces inflammation, supports wound healing, energy, vitality, mental clarity, enhances sports performances, faster recovery from exercises, improved appearance, and so much more. I love that David Smith is a scientist because he loves to base everything on science, experiments, and studies. This is David Smith right here. That's not Steve Merritt. All right, I know they look alike. This was at the very beginning when we all got together and we're learning what we've got in our heads, right? He jumps on the Zoom and Steve and Gina are interviewing him, and he goes into a whole bunch of studies and whatever. Guys, I'm gonna have to drop out. He starts talking these big names and words. He loses me right away. After the thing, Steve comes, my God, right? Did you see that? Well, what did you get from everything? I said, I just understood we're gonna get rich. Like it sounds like a big deal. He lost me with a lot of those parts, but this was one of the biggest studies that really blew my mind. This was a recent experiment where 12 healthy participants between the age of 50 and 80 years old were used. Each of them got brain scans before using the patch, 3 weeks after the patch, and an additional 3 weeks for a total of 6. So before the patch, 3 weeks later, can you see a difference? Absolutely. That redness is an indication, according to David Schmidt, of stagnant stem cells. Look at your brain. Look at your brain on the patch, right? So with the patch, 3 weeks later, can you see a difference? Yes. No more stagnant stem cells. It works that fast. In additional 3 weeks, you see a difference. Yes. More of the bright colors. It's a sign of a healthier, more cognitive brain. This helps me understand a few things. Number one, why we're seeing so many people have results with things like dementia, things like Alzheimer's, children with autism. Again, it's not the patch. It's your own stem cells coming to life, okay? That's causing this, right? So this also helped me understand why some of our friends and family members just don't get it. This is what the brains look like. They don't get it, all right? The good thing is that this patch is so powerful, guys. I remember I told you there's no absorption of anything. David Schmidt, now in Aruba, we learned, this guy's just so smart. The more time I spend with him, the smarter I sound, right? So he says that within 6 inches from your body, this patch begins to work. Within 6 inches, the light that you generate goes far beyond the space that you need. So 6 inches. So for your friends who just don't get it, sometimes you just gotta get real close to them with the patch, or hug them and just pat them in the back and put one and pray for them because they just don't get it, right? But guys, 80 case studies. We can be funny and everything, guys, but I'm gonna tell you something. This is serious business. This is case studies, right? They're all found on www.startextranet.com. There's so many pointers that we can make, but just to wrap up a few, within the first few days, 4,000 genes begin to reset. We're composed of about 20,000 genes. That's about 20% of the genes resetting within days. And the more you use it, the more it resets, okay? Within 6 weeks, your brain becomes balanced. I didn't know you can have an unbalanced brain. If you see me, you know me long enough, you might think I have an unbalanced brain. But truth is that some of the symptoms are PTSD, anxiety, and depression. How many people don't we know walking out there with those type of symptoms, right? Unbalanced brain. Within 3 months, your collagen increases, which helps with wrinkles, hair, structural integrity of your both skeletal and muscular system. And within 6 months, guys, this for me was huge because most people don't know this. The reason why I'm so big into health is because my dad passed away when I was a year old of a heart attack. I was 1 year old, he was 40. He dropped dead, and instead of inheriting like $1 million, I inherited 1 million health issues. And that's why since I'm 25, I don't eat red meat, don't eat pork, don't eat bacon cheeseburgers, my favorite food, right? And I was dealing with arrhythmia for the past 7 years, something I never even share with anybody. But 2-3 times a day, when the arrhythmia would take place and I would have an episode, I would feel like I was going to fall. I couldn't feel the oxygen in my body, whatever. I didn't think about the fact that I had not had an episode in 4 months. After using it for 4 months, after I heard a cardiologist talk about his own testimony with his arrhythmia, after he saw results of his patients. And again, it's not a patch, it's my own stem cells, all right? So according to the study, in a recent study, 14 out of 15 people lowered their cardiovascular age by an average of 8 years after just using the patch for 6 months. Your heart becomes 8 years younger in 6 months. Sign me up. It's not anti-aging, it is age reversing. Guys, we are getting younger. There's people with a gray hair growing black. Anybody? Raise your hand. 1, 2, 3, 4. All right, it sounds 5. I saw you back there, 6. Guys, I know it sounds crazy. If I would have seen it, I wouldn't believe it, right? But if it's true, we got something big in our hands. Again, all the studies are found where? StartXternet.com. Guys, go to this website and at the very least, watch the first 3 videos. But if you want to go deep diving, you can go in there and you're going to see all the 80 clinical studies, testimonies, and much more than you ever need of. And much more than you ever needed. So, how do you wear the patch? You're going to wear the patch 12 hours on, 12 hours off. So, if you get up in the morning, you put it on at 9 a.m., 9 p.m., take it off, throw it away, or put it on your dogs, right? My dogs have had great results, and I've seen some miracles happen with pets. So 12 hours on, 12 hours off. It's still got a couple of hours of activity, so we throw them on them. Then next day in the morning, you put on a new patch, and you start the activity all over again. The sleeve has enough for 30 patches, for 30 days. One person for 30 days, okay? So you're going to put them anywhere you want, but for the case studies, they need to put them in consistent places. So below the back of the neck and below the belly button, where the studies were done. But if you have a pain in your shoulder, put it over your shoulder, in your hip, and your foot. Doesn't matter where you put it, guys. It works systemically. It activates stem cells from head to toes, regardless of where you put it. And just keep in mind that it's very important to drink plenty of water. Okay? So this, for me, is the most fascinating part of the Zooms. Always, because guys, when you hear these testimonies, again, it just fires us up. We've been sharing the same testimonies that we've heard from day one, and we get daily testimonies, guys. It's life-changing. With these type of products, guys, these type of results, it's just so simple to build this type of business. So I didn't get a list of who's going to be sharing today. I am sorry. Do we have who's going to share?
Testimony.
The testimony.
Don't be shy.
No,
I'm not shy.
Yeah. Sure. I want people who have a pep in their step to talk to them about this. What do I mean? Guys, I'm not looking for people who are hurting with their health. I'm not really promoting health because I learned years ago, guys, I told you about my health, right? And why I've always been conscious about my health. Because my dad passed away when I was a year old. And at 20 years old, the doctor told me, you're a walking time bomb. You can drop dead any minute. And, that kind of shocked me at 20 years old. And it kind of, made me think differently than most people, right? But I learned that most people don't really care about their health until it's time to care about their health, right? It's not a priority until it becomes a priority. So I really focus on the business because I think there's a lot more people open to making money than to changing, making lifestyle changes, whatever. So, guys, I'm focused on business. So in order for you to really understand the potential of this business, you need to understand the potential of this industry, which is going from 200 million to 300 billion, right, in sales per year. And I think we have the best product in the industry for many reasons. Number one, those stem cell shots are expensive. 10, 15, 20,000 versus $100. You choose, right? Number two, those stem cell shots 30% of the time don't work. Minimum 30% of the time. You spend $10,000, $15,000 in a shot, didn't work, money back guarantee. No, this is, you've got nothing to lose but your age, your pains, your health issues, and possibly the biggest business opportunity ever. But other than that, it's money back guarantee. The company gives you 30 days to prove this wrong. Good luck with that. Number three, when the shots do work, it only works in the local area where they injected you. It doesn't do everything from head to toe that your own God-given stem cells reactivating all over does, guys. It's a no-brainer, guys. We have the best product in the industry. And when those shots do work, it's temporary. Get ready to come back every 6 months, 8 months, 12 months, 15 months, and invest another 10, 15, 20,000. Why? Because those stem cells go inactive. Cha-ching! Right? I'm happy. It makes me excited, right? So how long do you need to wear this? Just as long as you want to keep your stem cells active. Thank God you didn't just wear one, and unless you're going to sell it for $1 million, right? So compensation plan. How does this business work, guys? It's like I said, we're going to do this regardless. Even if there was no business behind this, and you heard about this product, you will probably be sharing it with your friends and family members. Now, you wouldn't be driving all over the country and flying all over the world like we're willing to do if they weren't compensating you. But we should be sharing this with our friends and family members, and that's exactly how this works. You tell 2 people that tell 2, that tell 2, that tell 2, 4 that tell 4, 5 that tell 5. And let me just give you an idea. 5 that tell 5 is 25. How many did you tell? 5. You don't get just paid for the 5. You get paid for the 25. Who tell 5 is 125. That tell 5 is 625. I don't know the math after that. But you guys, you tell a couple that tell a couple, this is just incredible. Guys, I love this industry. It's changed lives. It's changed our lives. And this industry has generated more millionaires than any other industry in the history of the world. So your first goal is sign up on a gold pack or above. Guys, it's money back guarantee. Like I said, you got 30 days to open up a sleep for yourself, a sleep for your wife. You got 3 more sleep. Go out there and pack as many people as possible. Within 30 days, you don't like it, get your money back. Hello, like Saeed says, it's a no-brainer, right? But get ready, you're gonna run if you do that. But when you do that and you sign up 4 people, you are a manager. Who here is a manager? Raise your hand. Wow, congratulations, congratulations. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 14, guys, 14 couples in Orlando. I'm telling you, this is happening. You didn't have this many managers last time. Congratulations, wow. So now the idea is, duplicate that. If I'm one of the 4 people that you signed up, and Saeed is one of the 4 people, help Saeed get her 4. How? You get Saeed to pull out her phone book. All we did was we picked up our phone, went through our contacts. We have 2,239 contacts. I guarantee you most of you have more than that, all right? And we have only sponsored 87 people from that list. Right? Because we learned that the goal is not just put 2 and 2. Technically, in a perfect world, you can get all the way to the top like that. But you don't live in a perfect world. Neither do I. That's why Steve says put 20 left, 20 right. And we did that fast. In about how much time? 40-something people in 40-something days. That's how we got to the level that we got to. And then once we do that, you know what we did? We did it again. 20 left, 20 right. That's 80. And now we're up to 87. You know why? Because we're doing it again. 20 left and 20 right. Why? Because I want to guarantee I'm going to find myself at least one guy on each side who's going to make it happen. At this point, we have way more than one. But why stop now? Right? Because this part here only pays up to $25,000 per week. Right? Only. Guys, $25,000 per week, that's a lot of money. But I'm going to tell you something. I'm going to talk to you like if I was you sitting down when I first saw this industry. $250 a week would change my life. Sitting down in your chair back in 2006. $250 per week would mean that my product and my wife's product, my family's product was free. And I would make another $750 per month, which was a car payment that we needed and desperately, that we didn't have, we desperately needed. All right? So let's get you to $1,000 a month first. How? Let's get you to manager and then duplicate that process, guys. We can't promise you anything because we don't know that you're going to do the work. But I'm telling you, if you do the work, the company pays. That we can promise you. All right? Now, in addition to the $25,000, if you think that's unreachable, then you're not going to believe how much money you can make here. All right? Because you can make way more than $25,000. Look, we have not maxed out this comp plan yet. Right? And we've surpassed that in less than a year. And we've never even thought that we would get to this level. But guys, we never thought that this product can do the miracles that it's doing. And again, it's not the product, but your own stem cells being reactivated. Do you realize that we are the ones that are witnessing what is capable when your own stem cells are being reactivated? Because before this, no one else had ever done it. And guess what? No one else has done it yet. And we have a patent that this way, no one else. You know, I had a conversation with David Schmidt in Aruba. I said, I have 2 questions for you. Number 1, do you have an exit strategy? He said, Mike, this is my baby. This is where I'm going to be birthing all of my babies, meaning all of my inventions. Why would I want to do that? Absolutely not. I said, good answer. Number 2, is there anyone else close in the horizon to what we're doing? He said, Mike, great question. They are so far behind that by the time they're anywhere close, we're going to be so far ahead is that they're far behind in its ability to actually work, its effectivity, and its cost. Way off, guys. By the time they bring anything that does anything more close, it's going to be way more expensive. It's not going to work. And again, we're going to be so far behind up front, it's not even funny. What have we been doing? Do you know that Onyx built this business and the company grew during the pandemic when nobody was coming outside? How did she do it? Shipping 3 packages at a time with a couple of envelopes. And we have those exact materials because that's what we've been doing. We're not going to reinvent the wheel. We're going to keep it simple, right? We're letting the past do the work. Excuse me. But in order to buy those, we have them here. For those of you in Zoom, build331.com. And this is the 9 steps to success. Guys, go in here and learn the business. Take it serious because, guys, I'm going to tell you one thing. I know, like I said, what it's like to make no money, to have no money. And the only thing worse than having no money is having no hope. And no hope comes from having no opportunity. And I know what that feels like. That's why I don't take an opportunity lightly, right? When I see something that I believe that I can do, that it's really a thing, guys, I give it all I've got. If it's gonna be, it's gonna. If it's not gonna work, it's not gonna be because I didn't give my full effort, right? Because I already dropped out of high school. I already flunked at everything in life. So this was my chance now to make my family proud and, just get them somewhere in life, thank God. So if I don't know what it is that you want out of life, I don't know what it is that you can't get doing what you're doing, whether it is that you want to, retire your spouse, retire your parents, do something for your kids, your grandkids, buy a new house. Guys, it's time really to get your dreams out of the closet, dust them off, out of the drawer, lock arms with us, guys, because I'm going to tell you something. I hang around with Steve and Gina Merritt. Steve is an ex-world champion, all right? You got to understand that whenever you're dealing with an athlete that's a world champion, they don't think like regular folks. They are the type of people that are obsessed, right? So I said that I was a bit intense. Steve Merritt is obsessed with winning, meaning the last thing they do before they go to bed, the first thing guys, and everything in between is about focus, go, run. Those are the type of people you want to lock arms with. The hardest thing that we had to do in order to be successful in this industry was leave behind the people that we were locked arms with, that wanted to go nowhere other than just whine and complain, right? We had to unlock those arms and lock arms with people who were going somewhere. And that's how we got to where we are. Guys, I'm just telling you, it's just follow the leader. But you got to be serious about it, guys. We know that, listen, I have a high school, I don't have a high school diploma. I don't even have a GED, but I've got a PhD in people, all right? That PhD in people has also given me an MBA, a massive bank account, right? And I've got it all with this industry, right? And what I'm saying is, I've now gotten to know people. And a lot of people, you give them an opportunity to say, who wants more? Everybody wants more. But when you really put when you put it to the test, when the rubber meets the ground, guys, not everybody really does what it takes, guys, right? So you see knuckleheads like us, high school dropouts. Steve Merritt barely made it out of high school. Some of you here are probably college graduates. And listen, you can do it too, right? You can do it. It's not only high school dropouts, you can do it. It's take you a little bit longer because you're so darn smart, right? Just listen, get your application. Again, it's money back guarantee. So what do you have to lose?
Nothing.
Other than the greatest opportunity you'll ever see in your life, right? So come in. The company doesn't really consider you a business builder unless you're going to get a gold pack, which is 5 sleeves. So you can go out there and share it, right? Money back guarantee. Anything smaller than that, you can't make more than $100 per week. Why? Because the company sees you more as a consumer, as a customer, right? And even as a customer, it's cool that you can make $100 a week so that your product can be free. But if you want to build a business, guys, it's $500 minimum. If you're really, really serious and you're really going to go hard, it means you're going to talk to a lot of people, right? So it makes sense that if you're going to talk to a lot of people, you're going to need a lot of product. This is exactly what Steve told me when I got involved in 2006. I was like, yeah, I'm a high school dropout. That makes a lot of sense. He said, well, Mike, you're going to need the biggest pack. And that's what I did. 2006, I couldn't afford the biggest pack. But I gave him my credit card. I puffed on my chest. I didn't say anything. And inside, I was praying to God. I said, God, if you let this transaction go through, I swear I'm going to be a better person. I'm not going to curse as much. I'm going to be a good, right? But meanwhile, I'm like this. And the transaction went through. right? I don't know how to this day, but it was God's way of just opening up a new door for me, right? But I took a chance, I took a risk because I saw an opportunity. So a diamond is $15.99, and this time again, I signed up with $59, but now obviously I could afford it. But it's because I did it when I couldn't afford it, right? And that being said, again, guys, we're gonna wrap it up right now. But this is the application you're gonna get, or you're gonna get a link. If you're on YouTube, don't waste time, guys. I was talking to Steve today. Had I waited, I was gonna be kicking myself for years to come because I ended up getting, in